she's going to be going away, and it's going to change the dynamic in our house so much, you know, that she's going to be gone.
Yeah.
And
After 27 years of marriage, Tim McGraw is walking away. The country star who once seemed unstoppable is now facing the hardest choice of his life after Faith Hill's devastating diagnosis. Behind closed doors, doctors delivered news that changed everything. While fans watched Tim cancel shows and undergo multiple surgeries, nobody knew the real truth. Now, at 57, he's finally made the painful decision that's breaking hearts across Nashville. Tim McGraw's journey started in a small town in Louisiana. He was born on May 1, 1967, in Delhi. His mother, Betty Ann D'Agostino, was a teenage waitress struggling to make ends meet. His father, Tug McGraw, was a minor league baseball player who later became an MLB star. But Tug wasn't there for most of Tim's childhood. His mother raised him alone, relying on food stamps and welfare. For years, Tim believed his stepfather, Horace Smith, was his real dad. He even used the last name Smith. That changed when he was 11. One day, while looking for a school project photo, he found his birth certificate in his mother's closet. The name listed under father wasn't Horace Smith, it was Tug McGraw. When Tim asked his mother about it, she told him the truth. But even with proof, Tug denied being his father. It wasn't until Tim turned 18 that Tug finally admitted it. Over time, they built a bond that lasted until Tug's death from brain cancer in 2004. Even before knowing who his father was, Tim had a natural talent for sports. He earned a baseball scholarship to Northeast Louisiana University and dreamed of going pro. But a knee injury changed everything. His baseball career ended before it could begin. That's when he turned to music. His stepfather had introduced him to country music when he was young, and now that passion became his new focus. On May 9, 1989, Tim moved to Nashville. It was the same day country star Keith Whitley passed away. Tim had no connections, no money, and no guarantees. He only had his dream. Nashville was full of talented singers, all trying to make it. Finding success wasn't easy. His first big break came through his biological father. Even though Tug McGraw wasn't part of Tim's early life, he unknowingly helped his son's career. In 1990, at a Philadelphia Phillies party, Tug shared Tim's demo tape with a music executive. That tape ended up at Curb Records. On October 22, 1990, Tim McGraw signed a record deal. He was 23, full of ambition, but still had a lot to prove. A record deal didn't guarantee success. Tim's first album, Tim McGraw, came out on April 20, 1993. It was a failure. None of its singles made it into the top 40. What Room Was the Holiday Inn didn't even chart. Radio executives called it terrible. The album had contributions from Joe Diffie and producer Byron Gallimore, but it wasn't enough to make an impact. Critics said Tim's voice was too weak, and the songs weren't memorable. It was a tough blow. He feared his career might be over before it even started. Despite the failure, Tim refused to give up. He knew he had to improve. He took control of his next album, Not a Moment Too Soon, and worked closely with Byron Gallimore. This time, he made sure the music reflected who he really was. He didn't have a voice like Vince Gill or George Strait, but he didn't try to be them. Instead, he leaned into his own sound. Honest, simple, and real. When his second album released in 1994, it didn't just top the Billboard 200 and Top Country Albums charts. It made McGraw a star. The album sold over 6 million copies and put him in the same league as Garth Brooks and Alan Jackson. Just a year earlier, few people had even heard of him. Now he was headlining sold-out tours across North America. A big part of the album's success came from its first single, Indian Outlaw, released in February 1994. The song had a catchy beat and a rebellious energy that made it a fan favorite. It climbed to number 8 on the Billboard Hot Country Songs chart and even reached number 15 on the Billboard Hot 100. But it also sparked a major controversy. Some Native American groups accused the song of using harmful stereotypes. Lyrics about wigwams and tom-toms felt outdated, and critics said it played into old Hollywood cliches. The National Coalition of Racism in Sports and Media called for a boycott. 2 radio stations in Minneapolis banned the song after complaints from listeners. Not everyone agreed. Some Native American fans supported McGraw and attended his concerts. Gerard Parker, vice chief of the Eastern Band of Cherokee Indians, even wrote McGraw a letter saying he had no issue with the song. McGraw defended it as a light-hearted track but understood why some people were upset. He kept performing it, and the controversy only fueled its success. Then came Don't Take the Girl, released in March 1994. It was the complete opposite of Indian Outlaw. Instead of being upbeat and playful, it was a deeply emotional ballad. The song told 3 connected stories. First, about a young boy who didn't want a girl to join his fishing trip, then about a man begging a robber not to hurt her, and finally about the same man praying as she struggled to survive childbirth. The song struck a chord with audiences. It hit number 1 on Billboard's Hot Country Songs chart on May 28, 1994, making it McGraw's first chart-topping hit. It even reached number 17 on the Hot 100, proving it had crossover appeal beyond country music. Critics praised the song for its sincerity and storytelling. It showed a different side of McGraw. He wasn't just a singer who could deliver fun radio hits. He could also move people with heartfelt, emotional songs. That balance became one of his biggest strengths. By the end of 1994, Not a Moment Too Soon was unstoppable. The album won 2 major ACM awards, Album of the Year and Top New Male Vocalist. Billboard named it the Top Country Album of the Year. It had 5 hit singles, including 2 number-1 songs. McGraw had gone from almost losing his record deal to becoming one of country music's biggest names. This was only the beginning. Tim McGraw's rise in the 1990s was more than just hit songs. It was about reshaping country music and reaching audiences beyond its usual fans. 2 albums played a huge role in this transformation: Everywhere in 1997 and A Place in the Sun in 1999. These albums weren't just successful. They set new standards for what country music could be. Released on June 3, 1997, Everywhere was McGraw's 4th studio album. It introduced a smoother, more crossover-friendly sound that made his music appealing to a wider audience. The album had 6 singles, and 4 of them became number-1 hits. It's Your Love, Everywhere, Just to See You Smile, and Where the Green Grass Grows all topped the Billboard Hot Country Songs chart. One song stood out the most. Just to See You Smile spent a record-breaking 42 weeks on the chart and was named Billboard's Top Country Song of 1998. This level of success made it clear. McGraw wasn't just popular, he was dominating country music. 2 years later, on May 4, 1999, A Place in the Sun took things even further. This album had 5 major singles, including Please Remember Me, Something Like That, and My Best Friend. It sold over 4 million copies in the U.S. and won McGraw the CMA Award for Album of the Year. He also won Male Vocalist of the Year, proving that his success wasn't just about sales. Critics and industry leaders recognized his influence on the genre. One song from Everywhere made an impact beyond country music. It's Your Love, a duet with Faith Hill, became a career-defining hit. Written by Stephanie Smith, the song was released in 1997 and quickly climbed to #1 on the Billboard Hot Country Songs chart, staying there for 6 weeks. It also broke into the top 10 of the Billboard Hot 100, a rare achievement for a country song at the time. But what made it even more special was its personal meaning. McGraw and Hill had just gotten married, and Hill was pregnant with their first child while filming the music video. That real-life connection made the song feel authentic. Fans loved it, and so did the industry. It won ACM and CMA awards for Vocal Event of the Year and was nominated for 2 Grammys. The song sold over 2 million copies and became one of McGraw's most celebrated hits. It showed that he could create songs that reached beyond country music while staying true to his roots. But McGraw's impact went beyond music. In 1994, he started Swamp Stock, a charity event that grew into something much bigger than he had imagined. At first, it was just a softball game to raise money for Little League programs in his hometown of Rayville, Louisiana. But as McGraw's fame grew, so did the event. It turned into an annual tradition, attracting over 11,000 attendees each year. Along with the softball game, Swamp Stock featured concerts that brought in big-name artists. The money raised went toward building new Little League fields, buying equipment, and funding college scholarships for local students. For McGraw, this wasn't just about giving back, it was personal. Growing up in Delhi, Louisiana, he understood the struggles of small-town life. Swamp Stock was a way to make a real difference, and it didn't stop there. Over the years, he took part in other charity efforts, including benefit concerts for Hurricane Katrina relief and donations to organizations like Music Cares, which supports musicians in need. Tim McGraw's journey into acting was never just a side project. From the start, he treated it with the same dedication that made him a country music star. His big breakthrough came in 2004 with Friday Night Lights, where he played Charles Billingsley, a troubled and abusive father. This role was nothing like the clean-cut image fans knew from his music. It was raw and intense, and critics took notice. The Dallas Observer praised his performance for its unexpected ferocity. The film earned over $60 million worldwide and became one of the most respected sports dramas of its time. 5 years later, McGraw proved he could do more than just tough and angry roles. In The Blind Side, 2009, he played Sean Tuohy, the kind and supportive adoptive father of Michael Oher. Starring alongside Sandra Bullock, he brought warmth and sincerity to the role. The movie became a massive hit, grossing $309 million on a $29 million budget. It remains one of the highest-grossing sports dramas ever and cemented McGraw's place in Hollywood. Then came 1883, the Yellowstone prequel that took his acting career to a whole new level. Playing James Dutton, a Civil War veteran leading his family west, McGraw delivered a gritty and emotional performance. The show aired from December 2021 to February 2022 and was praised for its powerful storytelling. His real-life wife, Faith Hill, played his on-screen spouse, making their bond feel even more real. McGraw kept pushing himself in Hollywood. In Country Strong, 2010, he played the husband of a struggling singer. In Tomorrowland, 2015, he took on the role of a NASA engineer. Despite his packed music career, he never stopped looking for roles that challenged him. His transition from country superstar to respected actor was nothing short of remarkable. But in January 2025, McGraw made a decision that stunned fans. He stepped down from an upcoming Netflix rodeo series due to health concerns. Originally set to star in and produce the project, he had been excited to explore the high-stakes world of professional bull riding. His character, a veteran champion facing off against a fearless young rival, was a perfect fit for him. But after undergoing back surgery, following orthopedic surgeries on both knees in August 2024, he realized the role was too physically demanding. His health had already forced him to cancel the rest of his 2024 tour, and continuing with the series became impossible. Fans were disappointed, but the decision made one thing clear. Years of performing and acting had taken a toll on McGraw's body. Though the future of the Netflix series is uncertain, discussions about recasting are already underway. Walking away from such a major project wasn't easy for someone as dedicated as McGraw, but it was a reminder that even the hardest-working artists have to put their health first. McGraw's career has always been full of surprises. In 2004, he made one of his boldest moves yet by teaming up with rapper Nelly on Over and Over. At the time, mixing country and hip-hop was almost unheard of. Even Nelly's record label had doubts, but McGraw believed in the song, and they went ahead with it. Recorded in Los Angeles while McGraw was on tour with Faith Hill, the track became an instant hit. It reached number 3 on the Billboard Hot 100 and topped charts in Australia, Ireland, and the UK. Critics praised McGraw's vocals for adding emotional depth, blending perfectly with Nelly's introspective lyrics. Tim McGraw's career has been full of milestones, but Live Like You Were Dying stands out as a defining moment. The album was released on August 24, 2004, and made an immediate impact. It debuted at number 1 on the Billboard 200 and sold 766,000 copies in its first week. Over time, it was certified 4 times platinum, proving how deeply it resonated with fans. The album was recorded in a mountaintop studio in upstate New York, a setting that gave it a raw and emotional feel. The title track became much more than a hit song. Inspired by the passing of McGraw's father, Tug McGraw, it struck a chord with millions. It held the number 1 spot on the Billboard Hot Country Songs chart for 7 weeks and crossed over to the Billboard Hot 100, where it peaked at number 29. At the 47th Annual Grammy Awards, it won Best Male Country Vocal Performance and Best Country Song. Billboard named it the top country song of 2004, and in January 2024, Country Aircheck ranked it as the number 1 country song of the past 50 years. The album also produced other major hits. Back When reached number 1 with its nostalgic look at simpler times. My Old Friend took a more emotional approach and peaked at number 6. Each song captured a different side of life, from joy to reflection. The combination of heartfelt lyrics and memorable melodies made this album one of the most important in McGraw's career. 2 decades later, McGraw is still evolving. In March 2025, he re-released Paper Umbrellas from his 2023 album Standing Room Only, this time as a duet with Parker McCollum. The rising country star brought a fresh energy to the song, blending his neo-traditional style with McGraw's signature sound. The track became an instant favorite, mixing classic country storytelling with tropical instrumentation. The lyrics, "Paper umbrellas look good on top, but they won't stop the rain," gave the song emotional depth beneath its easygoing vibe. Written by Monty Criswell and Drake Milligan, the track felt both modern and timeless. Fans praised the collaboration, calling it one of McGraw's best in years. At 57, McGraw isn't just staying relevant, he's staying connected. His latest project isn't just about studio work, it's about live performances that bring deeper meaning to his music. On August 30th, 2025, He will headline a special concert at the Field of Dreams site in Dyersville, Iowa. This event is more than just another show. It's a tribute to his late father, Tug McGraw, on what would have been his 81st birthday. The Field of Dreams site is legendary. It was the filming location for the 1989 baseball classic starring Kevin Costner and has since become a symbol of nostalgia and family bonds. Sitting on a 193-acre farm, the venue has drawn baseball fans for years. Now, for the first time, it will host a live music event, blending movie history with country music. The concert is being organized by the U.S. concert agency USCA in partnership with StubHub. When pre-sale tickets launched on January 20th, they sold out in minutes. Tim McGraw and Faith Hill's love story is one of the most unforgettable in country music. They first met in 1994, but their relationship didn't begin until 1996. That year, they toured together, spending months on the road performing night after night. As the tour went on, McGraw knew he wanted to marry Hill, but winning her over wasn't easy. He proposed more than once, but Hill wasn't sure. She had been engaged to someone else when the tour started, and the idea of jumping into a relationship with another country singer made her hesitate. McGraw didn't give up. On June 26, 1996, during the Country Jam Festival in Grand Junction, Colorado, he tried again. They were backstage in a trailer when he turned to her and said, "I'm really serious. I want you to marry me." Hill laughed at the moment but didn't say yes. McGraw walked on stage to perform, unsure of what her answer would be. But when he returned to his dressing room, he saw it written in red lipstick on the mirror. "Yes, I'm gonna be your wife," followed by a lipstick kiss. That was the moment everything changed. A few months later, on October 6, 1996, they got married, beginning a life together that would last for decades. To this day, they still have that mirror, a reminder of the night their future was sealed. Despite the demands of their careers, family was always their biggest priority. They had 3 daughters: Gracie, born May 5, 1997, Maggie, born August 12, 1998, and Audrey, born December 6, 2001. Raising them while managing life as country music superstars was never easy, but they made sure their children grew up with strong values. Tim McGraw has spent decades performing on stage, touring non-stop, and taking on physically demanding roles in film and television. All of it has taken a toll on his body. Over the years, he has undergone multiple surgeries to keep going. His knees have given him the most trouble, leading to 2 surgeries. He has also suffered 3 foot fractures that required medical treatment. His elbow needed surgery as well. In 2024, he sustained injuries during a tour that forced him to undergo orthopedic surgery on both knees. This led to the cancellation of several concert dates. Then, in early 2025, he had back surgery. Because of the recovery process, he had to step away from a Netflix rodeo series that required intense bull riding scenes. These injuries changed how McGraw approached fitness. He had always relied on running to stay in shape, but after years of wear and tear, that was no longer an option. Instead of slowing down, he adapted his routine. He focused on exercises that put less strain on his body, refusing to let the setbacks define him. Long before these surgeries, McGraw had another moment that forced him to rethink his health. In 2008, he weighed 215 pounds, and he hadn't realized how much he had changed until his then 11-year-old daughter Gracie pointed it out. While watching the trailer for his movie 4 Christmases, she commented on his appearance. That moment hit him hard. It made him realize how far he had drifted from the athleticism of his younger years. Determined to make a change, he cut out alcohol, burgers, and the unhealthy road food that had been a part of his life for so long. He started slow with light activities like walking, then built up to running and weight training. Within 2 years, he had dropped 40 pounds. But for McGraw, this transformation wasn't just about weight loss, it was about feeling better, performing at his best, and having the energy to enjoy life with his family. Quitting alcohol in 2008 was another turning point. McGraw has been open about how drinking affected his personal life and career. At one point, he feared that if he didn't stop, he could lose everything: his career, his relationships, his family. With the support of his wife, Faith Hill, and their children, he made the decision to get sober. It wasn't easy, but over time, he saw the benefits. Sobriety gave him more clarity, more focus, and a deeper appreciation for what mattered most. Faith Hill has faced her own health struggles. In 2022, she underwent neck surgery to fix an issue that had been causing her pain for years. This wasn't the first time. In 2011, she had the same procedure. The surgery, called anterior cervical discectomy and fusion, is done to relieve pain from a herniated disc or nerve compression. For Hill, an old injury had slowly gotten worse, making surgery necessary. Shortly after the procedure, she appeared at the Oscars. Fans quickly noticed a faint scar on her neck, and speculation started. Some tabloids exaggerated the situation, spreading rumors that the surgery had been life-threatening or that she was battling a serious illness. But those claims were quickly shut down by sources close to her. The reality was that her recovery took time. The procedure involved removing a damaged disc and fusing the nearby vertebrae to stabilize her spine. It required months of physical therapy and careful movement. Even after healing, she had to adjust her performances to avoid putting too much strain on her body. But she never let it stop her. When she and McGraw returned to the stage for their Soul to Soul tour, she found ways to keep performing while protecting her health. Tim McGraw's career has been a mix of huge success and tough battles. In 1994, his song Indian Outlaw became a massive hit. It was part of his album Not a Moment Too Soon, which turned him into a star. The song climbed the charts fast, almost as fast as Achy Breaky Heart by Billy Ray Cyrus. Fans loved its energy, but Native American groups did not. Lines like, "You can find me in my wigwam, I'll be beating on my tom-tom," felt more like an old Hollywood stereotype than a real tribute. The backlash came fast. The National Coalition of Racism in Sports and the media pushed radio stations to stop playing it. Some did. Wabun Inini, a well-known activist, called it cheap Hollywood music and criticized the way it used tribal beats and cliches. Even Wilma Mankiller, the first female chief of the Cherokee Nation, spoke out against it. McGraw defended the song, saying it was meant to be fun, not offensive. He pointed out that some Native American fans actually requested it on reservation radio stations. Still, the controversy didn't go away. It sparked bigger conversations about how country music represents different cultures. For McGraw, it was the first time he faced serious public scrutiny. But it wouldn't be the last. As his fame grew, his concerts became wilder. He wasn't just a singer on stage. He was in charge, and he didn't let things get out of hand. One of the most talked about moments happened in Auburn, Washington. He was performing Indian Outlaw when he spotted a man in the front row hitting a woman. McGraw didn't hesitate. He called security, then dragged the guy onto the stage himself and handed him over to the police. Witnesses said he looked ready to throw a punch if necessary. Fans cheered. They saw him as someone who wouldn't tolerate abuse at his shows. This wasn't the only time he got involved in crowd drama. At a concert in Reno, Nevada, he was singing "Where the Green Grass Grows" when he messed up the lyrics. Some hecklers wouldn't let it go. McGraw had enough. He stopped singing, jumped off the stage, and confronted them face to face. The moment was caught on camera. Some people thought he overreacted, but others loved that he stood up for himself. The most uncomfortable incident happened when a female fan grabbed McGraw's crotch during a performance. His wife, Faith Hill, was in the audience. She called the woman out from the stage, making it clear this kind of behavior wouldn't be tolerated. These moments shaped McGraw's reputation. He wasn't just another country star, he was someone who took control, whether that meant stopping a fight or defending himself. But while some fans admired his toughness, others thought he sometimes lost his temper too easily. His biggest fight, though, wasn't with a fan. It was with his own record label. By 2011, he had been with Curb Records for almost 20 years, and the relationship had turned sour. Curb accused him of breaking his contract by delivering his album Emotional Traffic too early. They claimed he was supposed to wait at least 18 months between releases. McGraw fought back. He said Curb was dragging things out on purpose, releasing too many greatest hits albums to keep him locked in his contract. He even accused them of treating him like a prisoner, calling it involuntary servitude. The legal battle went on for years. In November 2011, a Tennessee judge ruled in McGraw's favor. He was free to record new music while waiting for the case to be resolved. He didn't waste time. In May 2012, he signed with Big Machine Records, the same label that helped launch Taylor Swift's career. His first album with them, 2 Lanes of Freedom, came out in 2013. Curb wasn't ready to give up. They kept fighting, claiming they still owned McGraw's recordings. But courts kept ruling in his favor. By the end of 2013, the legal battle was over. McGraw had won. The case changed more than just his career. It raised big questions about how much control record labels should have over artists,